So this first topic here is talking about the splitting the bill conversation. I've been listening to Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco, also known as Chad Johnson, and they actually reacted to a video that I was listening to prior to it getting on their show by Joy Taylor. And Joy Taylor is a talk show host, and she does a lot of other stuff in the sports industry. Well, she has a show with her and a girl named Taylor Rooks. I'm sorry if I messed up her last name. But they were talking about a friend of Joy's who got herself in a particular situation regarding splitting the bill. And I'm just going to play it to let you guys hear their reaction to everything. I might skip it because I went and found the actual video. There's a clip on it on Instagram that Joy Taylor podcast, Too Personal, didn't do it right. It actually made Joy seem like in a bad light. So I'm going to get the actual clip and play the actual clip. Now I might skip through it because there's some filler that Joy's telling her story with, but here we go. But I'll play it now.
But it got close to a friend of mine's home. It was in their home. The splitting the bill conversation. What do we do? The men... Do we pay for the men? When do we pay for the men? It has happened. It broke my heart because, Taylor and I pride ourselves on these not being our problems. And to be clear, they still are not my problems. But a friend of mine is on her dating journey. Okay. And she went out with a man twice. They had lovely dates. He paid for everything, wined and dined. Okay. 2 dates. On the third date, they spent a day together, ordered a bunch of things, had some drinks, had a good time. Really long day. So pretty significant bill. Let's call it a couple $100. Okay. Because she had to put her card down for this particular place. So when they went to pay, he was like, your card is down. And now she didn't speak up and ended up paying for the bill. They had plans for another date. He texted her the next day and was like, hey, I had a great time with you, but, I don't really see a long-term future with you. And so I don't really want to waste either of our times. I think you're great, but, I don't want to keep our date for next week that we had planned, which I think is very respectable. Most people just ghost. So whatever. So she's talking to me about it. She's like, but he did stick me with the bill. I was like, what are you talking about, stuck you with the bill? How did you leave paying? She's like, oh, I just froze. So I was like, just text him and say oh, okay, well, cool. Thank you for saying that. Whatever. Had a great time too. It's 3 dates. It's not the end of the world. You don't even know this person. But here's your split for Saturday. There's no possible way you he thinks that she's just paying for his presence.
Yeah, at minimum, just a split. Just can you send me your split?
If Taylor and I go to dinner, we split the bill. We got credit cards.
We split it.
Split the bill. That's it. And then we go about our day because Taylor ate and I ate, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
This is not complicated. He got upset, did not send her the split, and in fact went and sent her the receipts for the last 2 dates.
Basically saying I got the last 2 dates, so this one's on you.
This one's on you. 3 dates. Now listen.
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna let you.
No. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
So it's tough because I just already think this who pays for what with the dates is so just I just don't even always even have a point of view on it because it just feels so ridiculous. And my honest answer is I see both sides of these things. I see him saying I paid for 2 of the dates. Maybe it was your turn to pay for the date. I believe in splitting things. I'm not saying that a woman doesn't need to be wined and dined. If a man is courting you, there's a part of taking you on dates and making you feel good and important and beautiful, making you feel taken care of. When I'm going on these dates, I am expecting that aspect of it. That's not what I'm saying. But if you are no longer going to be dating a person and you already paid for 2 dates, the idea of feeling as though you need to, show your love in that way kind of diminishes once you're no longer going to be dating that person.
Right, but he didn't pay for his half.
I'm just saying he would say, well, she didn't pay for her half.
Right, but the halves that she didn't pay for were with the intention of the courting and the taking care of part.
Right, but I'm saying now, but you're saying, but why is she paying for his?
Correct.
Yes, and that I agree with. That I agree
even
with.
This date, he asked for. Like, he asked her out. So even this date was your plan.
So when he sent the receipts and she was like, I'm just asking you to pay for your half, which is very fair and like something I would also do. Like, you need to at least pay for your side. What did he say?
So after, I don't know, after the receipts, everyone's been blocked and we've all moved on with our lives. But I guess my shock is one, like, the men are actually out here doing this. And I owe an apology to the girlies because I have been dismissing your experience, and that's wrong of me. And as much as I like being right, I can admit when I'm wrong. I did not think the men were actually in real life out here doing this.
I thought this was a myth.
I thought it was a myth. I thought
this was like Bigfoot or like Loch Ness Monster.
Where's the evidence? And we would have seen this if this was happening. And I have to apologize to the girls out there. I did not know that the men were out here moving like this. And it's I just couldn't absorb that this actually happened because
for sure
not broke, okay, by any means whatsoever.
Okay.
He has money, he has a good job, he by all accounts was just a normal man out dating in the world. Like nothing, he doesn't need to be fed, like he doesn't need a roof over his head, any of these things. So there's just no actual natural built-in excuse for this other than I guess the roles have changed. I guess the men are out here moving like this. And I'm cool with this, actually. I'm with Taylor. Like, I will split the bill. I will pay for the bill. When we're together. If we're together. Like, you don't need to pay for everything I do. Of course
during the initial process, I don't know.
Because this is my opinion about this. And again, everyone can move how they want to move. I don't need to aspire to this. This is my experience. I want you to listen to me. I don't have these problems. My male friends pay for me. Yeah. Men who take me out pay for me. Business people pay for me. It's not a flex.
Oh, that's good.
Like, if we're going to bend these, which I'm for, I'm with it.
Yeah.
We can't keep talking about women like this. Y'all out here doing the same thing. You can't do it. We can't do it. We can't be talking about these women are scamming for meals. Y'all are scamming for meals. I can't do it. We have to keep the same energy, guys. I'm with it. If y'all want to be kept men, okay? If y'all want to be wines and dines, please believe we have to act the same. We have to act accordingly.
My true, honest reaction when I hear these things is I cannot imagine dating anymore. It's a thing that I can't imagine. I can't imagine being out here in these streets anymore. I can't imagine not just having found the person because these stories are like,
Taylor, I'm telling you, like, we have had,
I have never want to be single again.
You and I have had these conversations. Like, I can't believe these things are happening. And I can't say it's an outlier situation because this is clearly happening. But I want to, just encourage people that there are men out there who are not doing this. I assure you.
Totally.
But that's how I would have played it. One, I would have asked, am I paying for this? Which is fine, but we're not dating anymore. And the thing about it for me is, like, it's not about if I can pay for it or your expectations to pay for it. For me, my time is literally money. So if you're on my schedule, you're on my calendar, which I have an assistant that manages, that time slot is either for rest and relaxation. It is for my friends who have already been vetted as fun and valuable to my life. It is for my family, or it is for money. So if you're not in any of these categories, which you haven't fit in yet, then
all right, I'm gonna stop her right there.
Like, so
I want to give Joy her full point of view versus the clip that gets put. You can find the clip on Instagram, and it is not giving Joy the best view when it comes to this. And when it comes to podcasts, you take clips and you put them on Instagram and you TikTok to get the views, and hopefully somebody goes listen to the podcast and get the whole thing. But I wanted to give the actual podcast its due diligence to explain where they're coming from, because this situation here, Joy's like, oh, men are moving like this. Men want to be wine and dine and want their time covered and want women paying for their presence, which that's a horrible way to look at dating. If you're looking at it where a man is paying for a woman's presence, like the only reason why he's taking her out on a date is so he can pay for her presence. It's like a transaction, which dating shouldn't be transactional. Dating, it should be getting to know somebody and seeing if you guys, whatever your intention is dating is for. Now, your intention is dating to hook up and have fun, and you can have fun, not hook up, but your intention is to hook up and just something casual, go for it. But your intention is to look for an actual partner and find a partner and somebody to see you're worth having a companion with for the next 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years. Then paying for somebody on a date shouldn't be like, oh, you're paying for my time. It shouldn't be transactional. It should be purely for the point to see if this person matches best for you and compatible with you, where you can say, you know what, I can spend the next 10 years with this person, the next 20 years with this person, next 30 something 40 years with this person. And marriage, I ain't talking about marriage, I'm talking about just companionship, living life together. So the whole, oh, he think that she's paying for his time, so that's why, he's not paying for the bill, he's paying for his half. Here's a thought process with this. One, third date. Her car got put down for a place. How did her car get put down for a place? Did she take the reservation? Did she make the reservation? Was she under intentions when she put her car down that, hey, you're paying for the date, or, hey, I got this, I'm gonna go and get the reservation? Like, how did her car get put down? And then before the people decide to run the car, the restaurant decided to run the car, did she not have a conversation with him saying, hey, are you covering this bill, or who's covering this bill? She didn't say anything. So her friend in this situation is actually, whether right or wrong, is not in the right. The friend's actually in the wrong for not speaking up. If she wasn't going to pay, she said, hey, I'm not using my card for this. Can we use, we're paying with another option. And then just let's say that. That dude would have to pick that card up if he was going to pick it up, or he would look at her and be like, I didn't pick this spot. You picked this spot. So how did her car get down for a reservation? That's what I want to know, because I have made reservations at places, and I had to put my car down, and my car's the one getting ran, I'm the one paying for the bill. If I made a reservation, I had to put my car down to something, I'm the one paying for the bill. So how did her car get put down? And then the after fact is the other point here. If they're going to date 4, would she even ask him for his half? If they're going to date 4 and he's going to go pay for the next date, would she even ask him for his half? They didn't go to date 4 and all of a sudden she wants her money back. She's like, hey, can you pay for your half? Now, granted, he is being petty for, not paying for his half. Cause I think that's just in that situation. I probably, if a girl did it to me, I'm like, sure, here's my half a date, no big deal. But he looked at it and said, hey, I paid for the first 2 dates, and here's the X amount of money. And what Joy said, like, they have money. So I'm going to assume that these dates weren't cheap. Let's say they at least over $100, $200 dates. So if he paid for the first 2 dates, let's say he spent $400 for, or $100. Let's say he paid $200 for both dates. And now she is paying for the third date, a couple $100 as well. The fact that he sent the receipts for the first 2 dates, like, yeah, that's petty. That is petty. She should just take that L. She was like, instead of ask for a date, because I wonder if the date was moving on to date 4, would she even ask for it? I doubt it. But to say men are out here moving this way, it was date 3. Now, first dates, if the guy's not paying for a date, that right there, ladies, right there and there that he's not the one for you. If you're somebody who wants somebody to pay on the first date, and they're not going to pay, then right then and there, they're not the one for you. Now, are there men who have had women pay for them on the first date? Yes. Are there dates where women go half and half? Yes. That happens. That has happened. I've had women on dates who's like, hey, can't pay for my half. I have got to the point where I just say, I got it, and then they want to push more, or the lady say, I got this. I'm like, well, let me pay for my half. And I know I got the whole thing. I'll let her pay. But there are dates like that, yes, and that's a sign where you're courting somebody, you're getting courted by somebody, and you're like, you know what, he's not paying for his half, or he's not paying for, he's not paying for the whole first date. Fine with me. I'm not doing it. You can move on. Now, Joy says she doesn't have these problems. I get that. That's the kind of life Joy lives. But to look at somebody and say, oh, what if we are paying for each other's presents? Don't look at dates like that. That is a very horrible way to look at date. That's a horrible way. You don't want to look at dating as, oh, I'm paying for somebody's presents. That's why I'm paying for it. It's a transaction. That's the same as men who's like, I'll take this lady on a date so I can get some sex. That's not what dating should be about. You should never expect sex on a date. Ladies, you shouldn't expect to go on a date just to get fed or get meals. She's just like, these men out here scamming for meals. It was date 3. He paid for the first 2 dates. I wouldn't consider that scamming. Now, they did say they will pay for the other person's half. They went like they're more in a relationship. I get that. But in the early stage of dating, they're like, we're not paying. Okay, that's fine. But the problem with her friend is she did it after the fact. She did it after the fact that the dude said, hey, I'm not going to continue seeing you anymore. I'm done. Then she was like, well, I want my half back. And just take that L. Take the L and say, hey, that's not the guy for me. Scamming for meals. Making date transactional, don't do that. It's a horrible way to look at dating. Dating shouldn't be transactional. Dating should be about having fun, find the right partner for you. If you're looking at the mindset of, oh, well, it's transactional. I pay for my half and he pay for his half, or I pay for this and I should be getting this. No, you're going on date. You're dating for the wrong reasons, and that thought process, you're dating for the wrong reasons. So remember that dating should be fun, transactional. Take it off the table. It should be nothing should be transactional when it comes to dating. Don't look at it like that. You'll find yourself getting ripped off by somebody who's a gold digger, or you find yourself dating somebody who only looks at you as value. Don't look at you as a person, but look at you as a value, and like value as in like some kind of object, and you don't want that. Not at all. Thank you for watching this episode of Nerdy Dating. I really appreciate it. If there's another episode you want to watch, you can look at it right there. If you want to subscribe to the page and watch more content, it's down here. Also, you have a question about dating, you want to put it in the comment section, go ahead and do it. Or you can send me your dating question to my email of alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. That's alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. And I will answer your question on the next episode of Nerdy Dating. Thank you so much for watching the show. I appreciate you, and keep being awesome.